Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Mermail Master coming at you from the Team Time Riders Yugi Tube channel with a special deck profile today. We're looking at a deck that probably a lot of you guys haven't seen in a while, and that is Six Samurais. Now, for those of you who don't know, Six Samurais were a driving force back around the time that Storm of Ragnarok was released. So I'm thinking maybe a little bit before like Dino Rabbit format really took hold. So like maybe like 2011, 2012 area, something around that area. But they were a fearsome deck, and they swarmed the field full of special summons. Throughout that time, they ended up getting a lot of cards banned, but have slowly been getting things back. Like they got Shi-En back to 3, and it seems like there's rumor on the street that Konami might be having some more support for them sometime down the line. This deck here that I'm profiling is actually going to be Luigi 21 Plus's Samurai deck, so shout out to him for letting us do this profile. He's behind the camera, and if he has anything to say, specific reasons why he runs certain cards, we're going to get into that as well. Now, this Samurai deck is special because it incorporates the Speedroids, Terratop and Taketo board to help pressure your opponent to get more stuff out. He's got Invokers as well to be able to get that Keys-On directly out of the deck and be able to push for more damage and more plays. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile and let's see what he plays. So, I'm going to first start it out with those 3 super rare Kagemusha of the Six Samurai. This is a fantastic card just because it's a tuner monster in the deck. I'm not really sure, at least in my experience, I've never used it for its actual effect. I don't think nobody does, but you know, he's 400, so you just special summon Elder, activate Asceticism, get this guy right out of the deck, and just, you know, keep moving forward from there. So fantastic card. 3 copies of legendary Six Samurai Kageki. Kageki is really good for just special summoning your Kagemusha from your hand. So if you have Kagemusha in your hand, you summon Kageki. Kageki's effect activates special summon Kagemusha. Another interesting thing that people have forgotten about is that if you use Kagemusha, or if you use Kageki with Shadow of the Six Samurai Shen, then you're able to, Kageki's effect when he has another Six Samurai on the field, gain 300 attack, gain 1500 attack power. So you basically put Shen on the field, which makes the original attack of Kageki 2000, and then the 1500 boost kicks in, and this guy goes up to 3500. So super awesome card. 3 copies of legendary Six Samurai Keys-On, the best samurai in the deck. When you control a Six Samurai, special summon this guy from your hand. Pretty much self-explanatory, nothing else to say here besides this is just an awesome card, and is a great way to extend your plays when you're playing the deck. Also, he goes up to 21 when there's 2 or more Six Samurai monsters on the field. And interesting thing is you can actually Asceticism a Grandmaster out of the deck at that point. 2 copies of Elder. This is the combo with Kagemusha and Asceticism. It's basically a Cyber Dragon for Samurai monsters and helps to you know, extend the plays a little bit further. 1 copy of Grandmaster for his special summon ability. Just get him onto the field when you control a Six Samurai. So he kind of works like Keys-On. And then I think when he's destroyed by card effect, you select a Six Samurai in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So this was like some of the first like hand recursion that we'd seen in the game. This came out in Strike Neos originally as a secret rare. I'm pretty sure Luigi 21 Plus, that's his final goal, is to be able to get that as a secret rare card. 1 copy of Anishi. Six Samurai players like Nizar Sarhan and others arguably put this as like the best card in the deck, because when you control another Six Samurai, banish 2, and you can bounce an opponent's monster back to their hand. And this was one of the first, like, during either player's turn effects. So it basically is just a very good card. You can also get this guy out if you have a boosted Kageki with Asceticism as well. Asceticism is the play example in the deck and gets you all your Six Samurai monsters.
Yeah, this is going to be a little tough.
1 copy of Six Samurai Zanji. Any monster who he attacks into when you control another Six Samurai monster will get destroyed, and so it's like pretty much like you're just running into something, kind of like Bullblader does.
He's also an Asceticism target.
And he's an Asceticism target for a Keys-On who is not boosted, which is also very good. Speaking of other 1700, the last 6 Samurai we run in the deck is one copy of Iroh, who basically destroys face-down monsters. And I'm thinking that possibly Luigi 21 Plus, hint hint, nudge nudge, might want to bump Iroh up to 2 due to the fact that Floodgate and Quaking, and it's like face-down cards in the game have become sort of the new thing with like the new way of removal without like actually removing the card, and Iroh just destroys them without any trouble. So every single 6 Samurai monster in the deck is an asceticism target for another one, which is very, very good. And like based on like there's so many different ways to run it. When I was running 6 Samurais, I used to use Shen's Squire and Shen's Dojo. So you normal summon a level 4, put a counter on Shen's Dojo, tribute Shen Dojo off special Squire who's a level 1, and you got a legendary 6 Samurai Shi and play like right off the bat. So that's it for the 6 Samurai monsters. We're running a small Speedroid engine in here as well. So 3 Terratop and 2 Taketumborg. Pretty self-explanatory, just special Terratop, search Taketumborg. A lot of people just choose to run 1, but 6 Samurais don't really have the staying power and the ability to OTK that they really used to. Shi-En, while a powerhouse before, is not really too big of a powerhouse now. So having an extra Taketumborg to extend further if Luigi 21 Plus happens to have another Terratop in his hand is perfect, especially for what you'll see he'll be running in the extra deck. So that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells and traps. Spells, we have 3 copies of Asceticism of the 6 Samurai. Any less than this is heresy. If you are a true 6 Samurai player, you're going to run this card at 3 because any 6 Samurai you control, there will always be another one you can fetch out of the deck with Asceticism effect. Granted, you know, the monster goes to the grave, but you'll be that monster will long be used for a synchro summon or an XYZ summon by the time that comes around. 3 copies of Shen Smoke Signal, pretty much Rhoda for level 3 or lower 6 Samurai monsters. Very good. Fetch your Elder, fetch your Kagemusha, fetch like whatever piece you need. Everything just sort of works together, and Shen Smoke Signal just gets what you need to your hand when you need it. And 3 copies of that super rare 6 Samurai United. Shoutouts to Luigi 21 Plus who just picked them up. He's doing a fist bump in the air behind the camera as we speak here. This card is fantastic because you get Bushido counters on this thing, and once you, based on how many Samurais you special summon, put Bushido counters on, and then this card will tribute itself with 2 Bushido counters on it to draw 2 cards from your deck. So basically a 6 Samurai supported Pot of Greed that is at 3. Gotta run it. 1 Reinforcements of the Army, also self-explanatory, except gets the level 4 guys too. Get your keys on out of your deck. Too bad this wasn't a 3 because I bet you 6 Samurais were having a ball game when this thing was at 3. And finally, 1 Soul Charge. Nobody was really running the deck at the time that Soul Charge came out, but this is a great card, and I think Luigi 21 Plus did a very good job in putting this in here to help, you know, extend plays, and like with the protection and destruction effects of things like Grandmaster and Legendary 6 Samurai Shi-En, this is absolutely necessary. So that's it for the spells. Moving on to the traps. We have 2 proxies in here, but these are supposed to be 3 copies of Double-Edged Sword Technique, and Luigi 21 Plus is a big fan of this card, mostly because of its ability to extend your plays. And, you know, like reborn Samurais at the end phase, or reborn them during your next turn, get them back to the field, synchro summon into whatever, and just keep moving forward from there. It's basically a free double Call of the Haunted for all of your 6 Samurais. It's got a drawback in its life point cost of both your monsters' attack if they're on the field at the end phase, but you're really never going to get to that point.
Most of the time, I use the Double-Edged Sword Technique as a defensive play. Most of the time, I just have it set, so if my Shi-En is by itself on the field, and my opponent targets my Shi-En or activates an effect to get rid of him, I activate a Citizen to bring back the tuner and change the effect to the tuner. So the tuner will be getting the effect instead of Shi-En. Most of the time, you just want to keep Shi-En on field.
Nice. So we got 3 copies of Fiendish Chain, also self-explanatory. You know.
Fiendish Chain, it's a must. Like, you can't play this deck without it because monster effects they're crazy nowadays. So that's Six Samurai weakness. If they get an effect going, and because Six Samurais, they're known for stopping back row, stopping spells and traps, but their greatest weakness is effects. So that's the reason why you play 3 Phoenix Chain.
It seems the difference between this and then possibly the apparent lack of inclusion of Musatani Magatama, which I believe negates only spells and traps. Am I correct? Yep. 2 copies of Safe Zone for protecting your Shien and protecting your monsters and really building up a wall. You put this on a Nat Beast or a Nat Barkion or something like that, and this pretty much your opponent's got to get that monster off the field. The fact that this deck can make Nat Beast is a big thing that can allow it to keep up with some of the Pendulum decks. Pendulum decks' glaring weakness is the ability to negate spell cards, and Nat Beast with the minuscule cost of being able to mill 2 off the top of the deck could not have come at a better time. And then the final card of the deck is One Solemn Warning. Pay 2,000 to say no. And that's pretty much the main deck right there. I think this is 40 cards, am I correct? Try to slim it down to size there, and we're now going to move on to the extra deck. For our extra deck, we have 2 copies of Legendary Six Samurai Shien, the main synchro. This guy was the powerhouse back in the day, and Shien was regularly a card that your opponents always had to worry about. Once per turn, negate a spell or trap card your opponent controls, so you're usually wasting a lot of stuff. But with the recent reliance on monster effects, Shien has sort of lost his place in the sun as being a monster that only negates spells and traps 1 time, and that also only has 2,500 attacks. So the level of boss monster and its ability to be summoned has increased drastically, as we've seen with decks like Cosmo. So definitely something to bring Legendary Six Samurai Shien and give him his time in the sun again would be greatly appreciated. 1 copy of Nat Beast for all the reasons that I just explained. He's a level 5 monster, and you just basically put Nat Beast on the field and he will do the work for you. Put him on the field, protect him along with a Barkion or something like that. If your opponent, you got the Phoenix Chains and stuff back there. If your opponent doesn't deal with Nat Beast, specifically if they're playing with Pendulums or like Blue Eyes or something like that, there could be a very big problem. 1 Armades, great for running over Burning Abyss monsters, great for running over ABC monsters, great for running over anything because of its ability to negate all effects during the battle phase and things that it's involved, like attacks that it's involved in, whether it's getting attacked or whether it attacks itself. 1 Cataster for destroying anything but dark monsters. I think it is, it's destroying anything but dark monsters. Non-targeting destruction that happens at the start of the damage step. So a monster will be destroyed if there's no Honest on it, like before Honest even has the time to get dropped. 1 copy of Nat Barkion for our Soul level 6 here. Nat Barkion for negating traps, banish 2 cards. I think Nat Beast and Nat Barkion were made at a time where traps were actually much more prevalent, so they gave Nat Barkion a little bit of a, lesser effect where you have to banish the cards. You already have to have the cards in the graveyard to banish in order to activate Barkion's effect, but nevertheless, he's still a very good monster and very potent, specifically in many different matches. Moving on to the XYZs. Luigi 21 Plus basically runs a swath of XYZs. First and foremost, that 1 copy of Shadow of the Six Samurai Shen. Great card for just pushing for damage and pushing for game. 1 copy of Blade Armor Ninja, attack 2 times. Very good card. A lot of people don't run that anymore. Decks have actually been taking it out in favor of Gagaga Samurai, specifically hero decks who run like Summoner Monk and stuff. But I think Blade Armor Ninja, still deserves his time in the sun and his time in the light. I think Luigi 21, he's nodding his head back there, so he'd be inclined to agree. 1 number 106 Giant Hand, one of the very few defensive rank 4s in the game besides Rafflesia. Luigi 21 Plus, as you see, doesn't run any of the trap hole suites, so relying on number 106 Giant Hand when you're forced to go first is good card. Number 101 for sucking up your opponent's monsters, just getting over things, and then being a battle-protected monster himself. Castel, pretty self-explanatory. It's a rank 4 deck, and you need the ability of Castel to bounce things. Extend your plays with Heroic Champion Excalibur. Goes to 4,000, and the best part about it is it stays at 4,000 even during your opponent's turn. So if it survives to your turn, only will it then go down to 2,000. Gaga Cowboy for those game-ending plays. You know, you can summon him in defense mode, or I've seen actually sometimes where Luigi 21 Plus will summon him in attack mode to get over like a 2800 beater or something like that his opponent has. A lot of people just think of Gaga Cowboy as a game ender, but they don't realize that his ability extends far beyond that. And then finally, the most expensive part of this entire Samurai deck is 2 MX Saber Invoker. If you see, the Samurai deck is very adept at making rank 4s and rank 3s in addition to synchro monsters, and Luigi 21 adding that Speedroid engine in there really you know, increases the ceiling of the deck and really makes it something. You know, Invoker fetches Keyzon as well as you know, fetch Keyzon and like several other different Samurais out of the deck. For use. I'm not sure, is Inishi a Earth one?
Okay.
Is Inishi Earth? It's like wind or something like that. But basically, Invoker it has the ability to just extend your plays massively when you're running the Speedroid Samurais. And having 2 of them in here, you know, he says he goes into them a lot. And so they're absolutely necessary in the deck. So, this is a deck profile of Luigi 21 Plus's 6 Samurais. I know a lot of you people haven't seen the 6 Samurais in a while, so I was really, really excited when he gave me the opportunity to be able to profile his deck for him. This is an awesome, awesome deck, and apparently at some point down the line we're going to be getting some new support for it. So keep an eye out on the horizon for that new support that's going to be coming soon. And you know, really like that stuff. And this has been the Mermail Master with the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. I would like to remember to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And from all of us at Team Time Riders, we're going to catch you guys next time. Peace out.